your point about like using different deployments for like server-side versus client-side experimentation, something that we're having issues with is different experiments when they evaluate stepping on each other in a way. So, for example, like they're both experiments running in our front-end web app, right? So we're kind of in the same spot, but maybe they're at different life cycles for the user. So if someone gets evaluated for experiment A too early on, they will be evaluated as not being a part of it, even though they haven't like quite met the criteria. And like we want to actually evaluate them, you know, a few steps down the road when they get there and we have more information about them. So as far as I can tell, the best thing to do with this is to be quite restrictive, but I mean, you kind of have to know, everyone has to know, only evaluate for your flag at any given moment. So I'm wondering if there's more to it that can be done to kind of set that up. Is there a recommendation to just do more deployments? Let me stop there, see if there's anything I can explain more, if that question makes sense.
Yeah, I think one thing to keep in mind is when you're doing the allocation for the user, so when the assignment is done for a user, you call a function called fetch.
Mm-hmm.
When you call the function fetch, you can also pass in user information along with that function. You'd of course have to pass in either user ID or device ID to like identify the user, but you could also pass in user properties. So if you think that maybe at a later point in the user's journey, the user is now going to be a part of your experiment because maybe some property of theirs has changed, then you can call fetch with those user attributes, and then you will get the latest evaluation for the user, and that way the user will then see the correct experience that they have to see.
Okay, so I guess we were worried that it was affecting an experiment assignment, like if they're getting evaluated on an experiment too early, and we would see that evaluation event in Amplitude, but we could do it again and have another evaluation event later on at the appropriate moment with those extra properties, and it'll kind of reevaluate them into the experiment.
Correct. Yeah. So just make sure that you pass in the user properties. And I think this is documented as well in the documentation. So when you call the fetch function, there's like a user object that you pass.
Yeah. I just didn't know that it was going to get reevaluated.
Yeah, yeah.
We see so
Yeah.
many evaluation events that we weren't, and we were looking for those to be sort of a source of truth, which was, I think, part of where we were getting confused. Okay, thank you.